Winter is here, so it's time to talk about the best winter fragrances for 2023/2024. Hi everyone, I'm Joel from Tinted Moments channel, where I help you to discover the amazing world of perfumery. So it's time to talk about my top 12 best winter fragrances. And this video and this list, I will make things a bit different than previous years. So in this video, I will mention 3 mainstream designers, 3 exclusive designers, and then 6 niche fragrances. For some reason, and this also shows that this year wasn't a big year for me in terms of mainstream designers. For some reason, I was not very inspired, or they did not inspire me. I still do have a couple of mainstream designer fragrances that I definitely want to add to my collection, but this year, for some reason, it was not a thing for me. I was very more into niche and indie, but yeah, it was how this year went for me, which I think it was still amazing. So let's talk about these fantastic winter fragrances. So, and this will not be in a specific order. So the first fragrance, the first winter fragrance that I absolutely love and I consider to be one of the very best mainstream fragrances, it is from the house of Christian Dior, and it is Dior Homme Parfum. I absolutely love this, and this is the old 75 ml. Nowadays you have the 100 ml, which smells the same. Was not reformulated luckily, but I know that this might be harder to find. I mean, the distribution nowadays is not as great as it once was, but it's still out there and still smells the same. Smells amazing performance, very sexy. So this is iris with suede, with rose and woods. It's so intense, so thick, so mysterious, and so sexy at the same time. I absolutely love this. This is one of my all-time favorite mainstream designer fragrances that I always want to wear during the winter days. Amazing performance. It's Dior Homme Parfum. The next fragrance, this is from House of Gucci, and I absolutely love this. I already said this before and I will say it again. This is for me the best mainstream designer oud out there. It's Gucci Intense Oud. Now, this was not discontinued. This is still out there in the online discounter, so you can still find this one. Might be a bit more expensive than it once was, but it's still available, still out there. I think this was not formulated, but I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I never tried like the newer versions, let's say, but I think it was not reformulated, or at least I never heard anyone saying that this was reformulated. This is amazing. This is like a more elegant version of Nasomato's Black Afghano. It's fantastic. So it's dark, it's smoky, but it has a hint of a fruitiness in here with raspberry, and then you have a rose, you have the musks and the incense. It's amazing. They also say you have oud. I don't know about that, but this has like a dark woodsy undertone in the base that it's to die for. This is very elegant, more masculine. It can be a bit bold if you overspray, but it's fantastic. It's very smooth, and this could easily be an exclusive designer fragrance. And if it would be, I think this would be way more hyped than it is or than ever was. So this is Gucci Intense Oud. Amazing, more dark, smoky, very mysterious, long lasting, and actually this will definitely get you some compliments. It's been, again, I just wore this mostly during the winter time, so it's been almost a year since I wore this, because this is very intense. I mean, the performance, at least on my skin, it's quite big, and you need to be in a mood to wear this, but man, when you wear it, you feel amazing. It's Gucci Intense Oud. The next fragrance, and this is the last mainstream designer fragrance from the house of Viktor and Rolf, of course, Spicebomb Extreme. Absolutely love this one. My favorite from this line. I was a fan actually of the Spicebomb, the original, but this was years ago, and nowadays I have to say it was a bit watered down. It doesn't smell the same, and actually I do prefer Bulgari's Men in Black, more complex, more boozy with leather, a bit more masculine also. So yeah, I kind of prefer the Bulgari Men in Black, but I was a fan of the original years ago. But now this is my favorite. Spicebomb Extreme. It's so damn, exactly, sexy. This is spicy, it's vanilla, it's cinnamon, it's balsamic. So this kind of gives hints, it also has tobacco. So this also gives hints of Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford, but this one is darker, more balsamic, and dare I say, not as sweet. This is sweet, but I think when comparing with Tobacco Vanille, it's not as sweet. It's because of this dark balsamic nuances with the vanilla, so I think that really cuts the sweetness, and it's really well balanced. It's very smooth, nothing scratchy, nothing artificial smelling. It's just done right. A great tobacco spicy vanilla with balsamic nuances. Amazing, amazing. For me, it's really one of the best mainstream designer fragrances. It's Spicebomb Extreme by Viktor and Rolf. The next fragrance, this is now from the exclusive lines of the designer brand. So, and the first one that I want to talk about is from the House of Tom Ford. It's not Tobacco Vanille because I already mentioned Spicebomb Extreme, and I will still mention another tobacco fragrance, two more actually. So I was like, okay, it's enough of tobacco fragrances, although Tobacco Vanille, it's a dear fragrance for me, but well, this year I will definitely wear more. This year and the beginning of the next one, 2024. I can't believe it, it's coming. But this is amazing. It's Tom Ford Tobacco Oud. Tobacco Oud. Oh man, this is something else. This is a masterpiece. Tobacco, boozy with whiskey, also ambery and animalic. It has like a castoreum in here, very furry, animalic nuance with, or like musk. It's very furry, wet fur with whiskey, with tobacco. It's so damn good, so good. It's also a bit smoky. This is one of the best Tom Ford fragrances ever created, and still, I think this was discontinued, or at least I think this was discontinued, but it's still out there. I mean, you can still easily purchase this one. Tobacco Oud is amazing, and there was this rumor that Tom Ford would re-release Tobacco Oud as part of their signature collection. That still didn't happen. I don't know if that will ever happen, but this one is really one of the best from Tom Ford, hands down. Amazing performance again, but this one is definitely on the daring side of things. Again, boozy fur, like wet fur, animalic, a bit ambery with tobacco, a bit smoky, very complex, very unique. It's Tobacco Oud by Tom Ford. The next fragrance, this is from House of Chanel, from the Les Exclusives, Le Lion. I can never be in live a winter without Le Lion by Chanel. This is the least Chanel fragrance that they released. This is intense. This is ambery with the labdanum, and the labdanum here, it's not on the soft sweet side. No, it's raw. It's more animalic, more rugged. With the vanilla, with patchouli, and you have a bit of a citruses on top with a bit of aldehydes, of course, aldehydes. So this is really like a mix of a bit of a Shalimar, a bit of Shalimar by Guerlain, a bit of Coromandel by Chanel, of course, because of the patchouli. But this also, it has a personality on its own. Because the labdanum here, it's front and center, and the animalic undertones that I don't think they list any type of animalic nuance, like not castoreum nor any other type of animalic, like musk, maybe musk, but it's definitely on the animalic musky side. This fragrance is amazing. Not for everyone. And again, if you are a fan of Chanel and you love their elegant, very traditional French perfume, like, you might be confused with this one, but I absolutely love it. It was my first fragrance from the Les Exclusives. It's the reason why I love Chanel, especially the Les Exclusives. And I really advise you to check this one out. Amazing performance. And in the end, it's a very unique scent. Although you can think of Shalimar because of the vanilla and the animalic qualities, you can think of Romanel because of the patchouli, but in the end, it's a fragrance in its own, and it's perfect. It's really one of the best fragrances created in this century for me. Le Lion by Chanel. And the last but by no means least designer, and this is from the exclusive range. So this is from House of Guerlain, and it's another tobacco fragrance, and it is Tobacco Honey. Huge fan of Tobacco Honey. Absolutely love this one. This was a love at first sniff. Now, this is not anything new. I already did a review of this one. It's nothing new. It's not groundbreaking. It's a sweet tobacco fragrance, but it's a high quality sweet tobacco fragrance, sweet honey tobacco fragrance. Now, this should be honey tobacco because honey is definitely more prominent than the tobacco. And the honey here, it's, if not the best, it's one of the best honey accords that I ever smelled, period. Very smooth, very natural smelling, sweet honey. It's to die for. Then you have this wet tobacco leaves, but really the best part of this fragrance, in my experience, is the oud. This definitely has oud in the base, and you can smell this chocolatey oud in the base, in the dry down. Mind blowing. That for me was mind blowing. I was not expecting at all to smell oud from Tobacco Honey. I then saw the note breakdown when I tried this one at the first time, and when this tried down, I was like, am I smelling oud? Because I love oud. I absolutely love oud. And I was like, I'm smelling oud, very smooth again. Nothing scratchy, nothing artificial, just done right, well blended. And then you have oud. Oh, can't be. Then I went to double check, and in fact, you have oud in the base. Amazing. That for me was, I think it was the part that really sold me out with Tobacco Honey. So yes, I absolutely love this. It's incredibly addicting, delicious, sexy for me, and very long lasting. But again, the most prominent note is definitely the honey. The honey is what you will smell from the most part of this fragrance, and then tobacco and oud. Fantastic scent, perfect for winter. Great release from Guerlain. Nothing groundbreaking again, but I think it's a great release. It's Tobacco Honey by Guerlain from the La Amitié collection. Now let's talk about niche fragrances. I have here 6 niche fragrances, and the first fragrance that I want to talk about is from the house of Profumum Roma. Always. Profumum Roma, it's always present. And this one is Sorriso. A delicious chocolate pudding fragrance with a orange peel on top. Amazing. With vanilla. This has vanilla, has chocolate, and this orange peel. For me, it's how I perceive the orange note in here. So it's real. This literally smells like chocolate pudding with an orange peel on top. Straightforward, and it's delicious, natural smelling, so addicting, so cozy, so sensual, very yummy, very long lasting as well. I mean, this has everything. It's one of the best gourmand fragrances. I could have mentioned many other Profumum Roma, Ambra Aurea, or I was even thinking of Fumidos, which I have, and but Fumidos, it's very intense and very daring, because it's a very smoky, dark, like burned, it smells like burned woods, with vetiver. So it really smells like burning forest. So you really need to be in a specific mood to appreciate that one. And it's also very long lasting. So I want something sweet. I don't know, in these last couple of months, especially in this last month, I've been into sweet fragrances. I want ambery, cozy, sweet fragrances to enjoy. So yeah, that's why I'm mentioning Sorriso. Absolutely love this. One of my favorite gourmand fragrances, one of my favorite chocolate fragrances. It's again Sorriso by Profumum Roma. And this fragrance is the reason why I love tuberose fragrances now, or at least I'm appreciating much more. This one specifically is Odor 93. This is an extrait. All of his fragrances are extrait. This one is something else. This is a big fat Cardinal tuberose with tobacco. Wow, very dry, very potent, but it's something else. It's so elegant. The tuberose in here, it really smells like old money. Like you are the heir of old money. It's so damn good. A bit smoky, dry, but really the tuberose, it's so fat and bold and big and carnal with the tobacco. I love this one. This fragrance, every time I wear this fragrance is because I will have a busy day and I want to feel empowered. Basically, it's how this fragrance makes me feel empowered, and it's busy because this fragrance it's aggressive, but in the good way, because this is not artificial, doesn't smell scratchy. No, it's a very natural smelling tuberose perfume, but yes, it's aggressive, and so you really, if you will wear this one, it's because you will have a busy day or a busy night, and you really want to feel empowered to face the busyness of your day or your evening. But Odor 93, it's amazing. If you love tuberose, if you are a fan of tuberose, check this one out. Odor 93 by Meo Fusciuni. Next fragrance, this is from House of Les Indemodables, Vanille. And this is, for me, the best sweet tobacco fragrance out there. The best, the very best. This is the most natural smelling vanilla perfume with tobacco, with cacao, and it's boozy. It's a bit leathery. I don't know if they mention leather or they are adding like a leathery accord, but it's definitely a bit leathery. But really the most prominent notes here are the vanilla, this smooth, natural smelling vanilla with cacao and tobacco. Delicious. It also has a bit of a boozy qualities in here. So good. This is so good. This is one of the best from Les Indemodables, but honestly, Les Indemodables is a brand that you need to check out if you have yet to. Their fragrances are high quality. All of them are high quality. They might not be groundbreaking, but they definitely are high quality, and they can produce really the best in its genre. So for example, this one for me is the best sweet tobacco fragrance. Then they have Chypre Azural, which is definitely one of the best fresh citrusy fragrances. They have Rose Jamal, best rose fragrance in my opinion. So they have so many fantastic scents, and this one is the most popular for a reason. Check this one out. It's really something else. Very delicious, very sexy, cozy, amazing. Vanille, it's in another league. Took the sweet tobacco vanilla genre into the next level. Vanille by Les Indemodables. The next fragrance, this is from House of Amouage. Of course, Amouage is a fragrance that it's a brand that I always want to have in my rotation, and this one is Royal Tobacco. Royal Tobacco is something else. So this is, like the name implies, it's a tobacco fragrance. And there's a lot of tobacco fragrances in this list. And this one is, this one is very different, very different. So this starts off very green, actually. So this has like absinthe with anise seed, and it's also mossy, like a mossy, wet moss, if that makes sense, with like pasty, mossy qualities, with absinthe and anise seeds. So this kind of reminds me, in the opening, kind of reminds me of Memoir Man from Amouage. I already said this, and it really gives Memoir Man feels in the opening, but then this goes, like the incense starts to show up, and the incense here, it's very strong, very resinous, incensey perfume. And then you have the tobacco, which the tobacco here, it's also changing, because it begins as a tobacco leaves, which then develops more into like cigarettes, even cigarettes, and then with this ashtray qualities as well. So this is really a very unique tobacco. It has a lot of changes. It's not for everyone. It's also earthy. It does have a bit of a sweetness, like a resinous sweetness in here, but it's not too much. This is more into the dry side of things, with a mild sweetness just to balance the dryness. But seriously, this is daring, I would say. This is not your typical sweet tobacco fragrance. A lot of changes, bit daring in the opening, might not be for everyone. So I really would advise you to try this one first before buying. But for me, this was a love at first sniff, and I really advise you to check this one out. It's really one of the best fragrances from Amouage currently. It's Royal Tobacco by Amouage from their Opus line. The next fragrance, this is from the house of Andy Tauer, and this one is Au Coeur du Désert. This is the extrait version of L'Air de Désert Marocain, and I absolutely love this one. I recently added this one to my collection, and this is something that everyone should try. L'Air de Désert Marocain is a masterpiece, and I personally consider this one to be the continuation of that masterpiece, like masterpiece part 2. And this one is different. So while the L'Air de Désert Marocain is dry, it's spicy, ambery, of course, but this one is definitely more resinous, a bit more sweet, more closed. I feel like L'Air de Désert Marocain blooms, but this one never blooms. It's more closed, it's more dark, more intense, more resinous, more thick and goopy. And I absolutely love it. With that Tauerite, it's a bit smoky as well. I absolutely love this perfume. It's really a amber fragrance that everyone should try at least once. I already did a comparison video between this Au Coeur du Désert and L'Air de Désert Marocain. Check that video out if you are curious to have a more in-depth review and comparison between these two fragrances. But I think this one leans definitely more towards the winter. It's also very intense, but again, because of the dark, resinous, smoky qualities, I think this fits better the winter time than L'Air. L'Air can be more fall, even spring, and this one, some people say that L'Air works amazing during the summertime, actually, and this one more towards winter. Absolutely love this one. It's a fantastic amber scent. Au Coeur du Désert by Andy Tauer. And last but by no means least, from the house of Xerjoff, from the Oud Stars collection. Of course, I needed to mention an Oud fragrance, and this one is Ceylon. This is for me the best Oud fragrance from Xerjoff, and this was one of my favorite discoveries of this year. Ceylon is really the most natural smelling oud from Xerjoff, and it's so damn good. I love oud, I'm an oud lover, and this one smells like really like an animalic, resinous, A bit sweet oud fragrance. Amazing. This is really dark and bold and a bit floral, has a bit of a jasmine, so it's a bit indolic, and which also helps to create a bit of a funkiness. But the oud in here is something else. And I think this has like Malayan oud. I think it's Malayan oud. Amazing. Then you have a bit of a honey. You have Ceylon tea, hence the name. So it has like the tea really gives like a dry quality, like a dry calming quality. And then you have the honey, which is amazing, like a really resinous sweet honey. It's where it comes the sweetness of this perfume with a bit of a sandalwood, musk. It's really a complex oud fragrance that I highly advise you to check it out. And the performance is huge. This is a big, bold perfume, but for oud lovers exclusively. Ceylon by Xerjoff. This smells real. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me in the comments down below what are your top 12, top 10, top 5 winter fragrances for 2023 and 2024. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. See you in the next video. Take care, guys. Ciao.